Hello, my name is Jansen Wu, and this is my wife, Sarah. We, along with our three kids, Abby, Adeline, and Peter, have been members of McLean Press for about 6 months. It is by far the largest local church our family has been a part of. And we knew that when we joined that in some churches, it's easy to be anonymous. So we thought the best way to get involved in the life of the church is to just jump right in. So shortly after joining, we signed up for the church's 2024 family missions trip to West Virginia. Our own Justin Gentry and Caroline Fole spent months planning and preparing for this week-long missions in June. The first missions trip of its kind the church has taken to Fairmont, West Virginia, in the heart of coal country. Our missions partner in Fairmont was Impact West Virginia. Impact West Virginia identified several home projects in and around Fairmont for a number of church groups like ours. Along with these home repair projects, there were also opportunities to build relationships with children through vacation Bible schools, with seniors through nursing home visitations, and with other Fairmont residents encountered at the project work sites. It's through these relationships that doors could be open for sharing the gospel.
So I felt very enthusiastic when we first signed up. I thought this would be a great way for our children to see a culture outside of Northern Virginia and for our family to serve together. And one of our children asked me, well, why can't they fix up their own homes? And after I explained why, the follow-up question was, well, why can't we just give them some money? And I explained to them the idea from 1 Thessalonians 2, when Paul says that he shared not just the gospel, but his very lives with them. And I thought to myself, oh, our family needs this trip. But in all honesty, as the time approached, I was starting to dread it. Our summer had really filled up, we were really busy, and I started to understand a little bit more the living conditions we were gonna have for that week, and I felt daunted. And very innocently, our oldest asked me the week before we left, so Mom, is the hotel where we're gonna stay, does it have a nice fitness center and a pool? And I said, oh, we're staying in unair-conditioned cabins. And she looked at me with some self-insight and despair and said, oh, Mom, I am a needy person. I cannot do that. And I might have laughed at her as well at first until Justin sent us an email last minute that says, don't forget to bring your flashlights because there were no bathrooms attached to the cabins like I envisioned. You're gonna have to walk down a trail to a common communal bathroom. And then I turned to Jansen and said, oh, I am a needy and weak person too. And I really honestly didn't want to go. But thank goodness it was too late for us to back out because we had the best week of our summer.
Yeah, so on June 15th, our family joined 7 others from the church and were tasked with painting 2 rooms for one of the local residents named Joanne. In addition, the plan was also to help run a VBS in the neighborhood and visit seniors at a local nursing home. So at first glance, I silently questioned the value of the painting project. Every square inch from floor to ceiling of these rooms was covered with framed photos of Joanna's family. So parents, cousins, aunts, uncles, kids, grandkids, adopted grandkids were all represented, 11 of whom were living with her in the house at the time. So it was an impressive testament to how much her family meant to her. But would anyone even notice if we painted these walls under the picture frames? When the photos were removed, I saw the outlines of the frames, created by the dirt and grime of years of living. So I thought, yeah, it's worthwhile. And as the week of painting progressed, the purpose of the mission became more and more evident. The practical work we were doing for Joanna helped lay the groundwork for building relationships with her and her family and the larger community, and it helped forge a bond amongst those on the missions team.
So the kids and I mainly helped with the VBS, and it was indeed a different world there. So we were told that more than half of the children living in that county were not living with their biological parents. And so the government actually sponsored a program in a local park where kids could be dropped off without notice for the summer, for a day in the summer. And this is not like Northern Virginia where I had to sign up our kids for their current camps like back in February. And so they allowed us to come in and work with whatever kids wanted to do a VBS with us. So we had about 30 kids ranging from some special needs preschoolers to teenagers, and we found that they were very open to sharing their lives with us. And on Juneteenth, the park was actually closed because it was a federal holiday, but it didn't stop the kids. They actually, most of them found us at Joanne's house, and we just had a spontaneous camp with them there. And over lunch that day, I was sitting with the teenagers, and we just started this discussion about God's plan for the world. And I started in Genesis and kind of walked them through a lot of the Old Testament. And about an hour and a half into this, I thought, oh, they must be bored. And I said, oh, I can wrap up my stories. And they said, no, please keep talking, keep telling us more. And we finally ended with the life and the death and resurrection of Jesus and how that is just life-changing, profoundly good news for us all. So this week for us in Fairmont was the highlight of our summer. We went in not knowing anyone on the team, and we left feeling like we had some deep, close friendships. And so this large church, for us, feels a little smaller now. And in fact, the world feels a little smaller for us as we shared our lives with the people of Fairmont, and we saw God deepen within us a desire to reach people outside of our daily lives. And so I think they call this like the family mission trip, because at the end of the week of working and living together in 95-degree weather, you feel like your family's become part of a bigger family. And so this trip is actually for everyone. It's for singles, married, young, old, strong camping type people, or like weekend needy people like us woos. So I really hope that you will consider going on this trip next year with us.